Hello, welcome to today's video. I think it's gonna be a good one. I wanted to thank everyone who has recently joined this little online family and online community. It's a good time over here. I do all things small business, art. I'm going to be doing some sketchbooking with a little voiceover of some things I'm learning from the artist way, things that have really helped unlock my creativity. I also pack up all of my patron rewards. I'm really just sharing, getting back into the groove of things, really setting some goals, some creative goals specifically for 2024. I'm not a huge goals person or New Year's resolution person. I more so just have expectations to find balance in every area of my life, whether it be health goals, creative goals, whatever it is. I just want to find balance, find ways to be authentic and do things that are meaningful to me, and overall just find ways to be a little bit more mindful every single day. So yeah, like I said, it's a good one. I love it so much. I'm really just getting back into the swing of things since it's January, it's the new year. It's time to kind of recap everything I've learned from 2023, bring it with me into 2024 and see what happens. But so far, I feel like I'm really finding a workflow. I have been self-employed doing my small business as a full-time artist for, I guess, off and on for 3 years now, almost 4. It'll be 4 years in March. I had jobs every now and then, like I had jobs when I first started it, then I went full-time again, full-time artist, and then I had another job, then I went full-time artist and another job, and I've officially been a full-time artist now for a year, and I'm about to celebrate 4 years of opening up my small business in March. So that's gonna be really exciting. I'm hoping to have some new goodies for the birthday / anniversary. But either way, I also talk a lot about Patreon in this vlog specifically. I share the new Patreon rewards that I'm gonna be mailing out every single month, as well as some other goodies. So I'm not gonna do a Patreon plug here. You already get that in the rest of the video. But yeah, I just invite you to grab a cup of joe or a water or your favorite beverage, maybe grab a snack, and let's hang out. And I'll see you guys at the end of the video. Hello, beautiful humans. Good morning. Actually, it's officially the afternoon. I just finished up my morning pages and I'm doing some things on social media, but I wanted to finish up some tasks from chapter 9 in the artist way. There's a quote in here that I read yesterday and it was so good, or 2 days ago, and it said, "Art is a process. The journey is always the only arrival." And so it's basically saying that our creative work as a whole is our creativity itself. So there's no place of arrival. It's just creating is like a consistent flow. That is the only arrival. And I thought that was so good. And I wanted to share that because I think so often we think we have to arrive somewhere or we have to get somewhere, or especially for artists in general, I feel like there's this like, we always have to be making good art. Like there's no space for bad art. There's no space for learning something new. There's no space to be bad at making something. And I think it also comes with redefining what good and bad art is. And does that even exist? Or is art just simply creating? I'm not sure if there is any good or bad inherently. But yeah, there's a lot of things in here that really healed a lot of pieces of me that have been blocked and has helped me recover my creative self, and especially in this chapter. So there's a couple of tasks that I want to get done today, so I'm gonna tackle a couple of those, and I really want to make some time to sketchbook, and I would love to sketchbook and with you all, and I would love to do like a voiceover or something. So I haven't done it yet, but as of right now, I'm just gonna say in my head that I'm gonna do a voiceover. I think I'm gonna talk a little bit about the artist way and some really key concepts that have helped unravel this big ball of tangled yarn inside of me, and has really helped me dig into the well within me to reach for these creative ideas and do a lot of new things. And I'm excited for where it's going to take me this year. I think there's going to be some really cool things that happen artistically, and I don't know, I'm just really excited for what this year is going to bring creatively. But yeah, so that's on my little to-do list today. Hello. I decided, like I said, to do a voiceover. I also did a poll on YouTube, and I saw that some people really liked voiceovers, especially with Sketchbook with me. So here we are. I am going to be discussing some of the concepts I've been learning from the artist way. It's kind of having a moment here on YouTube or on the internet in general, and I am a part of the hype. I'm definitely a part of it. I understand the hype. I highly recommend the book to anyone and everyone. It doesn't have to just be for artists. I think the point of it is that we're all artists in our own unique ways. So let's get into why I got into the artist way in the first place and why it's had such a significant impact on me. I took a month off of all social media during the month of October, and that is also the exact moment that I started the artist way. I really dove into the book, and I really learned how to be present and create for the sake of creating. I realized that I was just producing things instead of actually enjoying like the process of making art. This kind of came because I didn't realize it, but I was really believing that my work had no value if no one saw it. So if I wasn't posting about it, if I wasn't making a video, if I wasn't monetizing it at some degree or selling it, then I was believing that my work had no value. And of course, like I said, I didn't really know that I was believing that. It's not something that I admitted or something that I saw or was super aware of. But this is something that I really started to realize during the month off of social media when no one was watching me, no one was seeing anything, and I was left to just create for the sake of creating. One of the concepts that I learned very quickly in the book that's introduced in the very beginning, and I don't want to be super detailed with everything because if you are going to do the book, I want you to have an authentic experience with it. So I'm going to try and be as, not vague, but not as detailed because I don't want to take away from anyone's experience. But something that you may see other artists doing and you may know or maybe not know is the morning pages. And this is something I've been doing in my videos a lot lately. I've been documenting me doing my morning pages, and they're basically a way to unload what's swirling in my mind. It's also a way to like find patterns. So whatever I'm constantly complaining about, like when you see it on paper, it really kind of hits different and you start to see it differently because it's like just the fact that you're constantly writing about it or seeing like a pattern about it, instead of it just being inside of your head, it makes you actually want to do something about it and really start to want to make some change. However, it's not like a space to like beat up yourself or anything like that. It's a non-judgmental space to vent or let out whatever I want, however I want, and just to see it for what it is and not be too harsh and not judge it too much. And overall, it's definitely helped me be more present and in tune with my reality, or the reality, which is the main reason why I wanted to get off of social media in the first place. Chalk that up to synchronicity, that the book is literally all about that as well. The next thing that I see a lot of creators talking about is like the foo-foo part of it. So there's a lot of like spiritual stuff because it's a spiritual path to higher creativity. So there's a lot of spiritual stuff within the book. And so a lot of creators talk about how to get past the foo-foo, little, the spiritual whatever. But I actually, this may be like an unpopular opinion, I'm not totally sure, but I actually think understanding the spiritual side to creativity is extremely necessary to understand creativity at its most basic level. And like I said, that might be like a really hot take or strong opinion, but I also just think it's necessary for the world that we live in today. I think we should be in tune with our spiritual self. We should be open to the connection that creativity is actually a spiritual experience. And the spiritual aspect of the book has actually helped me better understand the unseen half of myself. I think that's the side that maybe not only me, but I think most of us tend to neglect. And it's helped me actually feel more grounded and more whole because I'm understanding all parts of myself, everything from physical to the spiritual level. And the key to unlocking my creative recovery has actually been understanding that creating is a spiritual experience from within myself and with the creator. And I know that sometimes makes people feel a little uncomfortable. The book even addresses feeling a little bit of discomfort, but also remaining open-minded and finding your own journey in your own way to what that means for you. There's also this concept that the author refers to, and it's called terra incognita. She refers to the self or the creative self as terra incognita, which basically means our unknown and unexplored self. And oftentimes as we grow or reach deeper and deeper within, we can kind of feel like we're losing ourselves. And it's kind of crazy. I started to feel this way the week before I learned about terra incognita. And I've been writing down all of the times I've experienced synchronization, which synchronization is basically like a quick example of it is the fact that I wanted to become more present and more in tune with my reality and what's in front of me and stop being so future mindset or past mindset, but really just be present and be in tune with myself. Then I start this book that has everything to do with learning how to be present. Or it's like when you're saying that you want to do something. Like, for example, I've been really wanting to get into pottery, and I was talking to a creative friend, and like she was saying how she wants to get into pottery. And it's just like these random people chalk it up to like luck or coincidence. But I personally think it's you walking in your divinity and finding your path, and the creator starts to place things in your path that align and encourage you and confirm that you are still on the right path. And same thing for this. So the week before I learned about terra incognita, I really started to feel like the more I dove into the book or the more I dove into my creativity, the more I started to lose myself. only to read the chapter about terra incognita and about how you might start to experience these symptoms if it's working. So it was like confirmation, oh my gosh, I've been feeling like I'm losing myself, and now I'm being confirmed that, okay, I am unlocking my creativity. I am recovering and rediscovering the parts of me that have been shut off, that have been blocked. So oftentimes as we grow and reach deeper and deeper within, we can feel like we're losing ourselves. And like I said, I started to feel this way only to learn that feeling this way was a positive thing and a sign that I am unlocking and rediscovering and recovering more of my creativity. So the more we feel like there's unexplored territory within us, the more territory there is to discover, which is a good thing. And if we let it, the author really encourages that if we let it, the territory could become our own promised land that we find from within rather than trying to find a promised land externally. There's a lot of like breaking down that I've had to do, a lot of like unlearning, and I've had to process creative defeat and creative trauma and just creative block in general, which started to make me not trust my creativity. In fact, I was actually fearing my creative side, and I felt like I was letting people down by tapping into my artist self. Like every time I chose to be an artist, I felt like I was rebelling. I felt like I was letting people down because it's just not the way to do life, or it's not the normal way to do life, which ultimately led to me feeling like I'm an outcast and like I was a disappointment, in which there's definitely deeper meanings as to why I was feeling this way, and those stories might be saved for another day, but I'm sure regardless, some of you have felt the same for your own reasons. And it's because you're taking the path less traveled, and you're hoping that you'll look successful in the world's eyes if you're making extravagant art instead of recognizing the simplicity of it. And this is just something that I've kind of learned from this book, is I'm learning that to not create is actually going against my very nature, because since I am a product of creation, it is in mine and yours very nature to create. And this led to me having to call things out for what they are to be able to find a solution for them. Like, for example, my lack of creating isn't laziness, it's actually fear. My skepticism in my own work and my own art is directly correlated to my doubt that it's actually okay for me to create or be creative in the first place. And all of this has made me very, very grounded and almost like hyper aware of the present moment. And this might sound really simple, but like I mean it in its most literal basic form. I've really started to actually understand that I am, in fact, alive. Like, I mean that in all the literal sense, like I was saying, like, I am alive. And I'm not just, like, seeing that. It's like I'm having, like, a revelation of it. Like, wow, I am alive. I am here in this very moment for a very short time. I'm here. And it's kind of like wild to really start to become so aware of the present moment and actually recognize that I am in fact alive. So I think it's really easy to get caught up in routines, busyness, distractions, whatever it might be, and forget that you're literally alive. And our life is really so precious, and the majority of us, like myself, we spend our lives trying to find socially or professionally acceptable ways to contribute to society instead of finding our unique footprint in the map of life individualistically. And it's like we're all the same, but we're also all very different, and both of those things are positive, and both of those things are true and existing at the same time. At the end of the day, I think the main thing that I've really taken away from this is learning how to be playful again, how to make work play, how to adventure in my everyday life. And it's led to me absolutely loving what I do. And my hopes by sharing the things that I love and my art in general, is to hopefully inspire whoever sees this or whoever's listening right now to do so as well. And I spent so much of my life just absolutely miserable, which goes to show, like, if I can somehow find meaning in places I used to deem meaningless, so can any of you. And I'm really learning how to trust myself, give my pain a voice, give my anger space to be heard, give my sadness room to exist and heal. And I'm learning to not run from the pieces of myself and actually stop to pick them up to hopefully, day by day, achieve wholeness. But yeah, there's so much more that I've learned from this book. But like I said, I really want to save that for any of you that are trying to have an authentic experience yourself in diving into this book. But I hope these concepts at least helped you if you aren't going through the book, or if you're kind of dabbling with going back and forth of maybe you should do it, maybe you shouldn't. Hopefully it encourages you to do it. But overall, I hope these were of value to you and that they help you in some way. But yeah, that's for my little voiceover. I'm going to let you watch the end of my sketchbook, and I'll see you all in the next clip. Hello, I am just checking in after I finished sketchbooking. I hope you enjoyed. You probably saw my little sticky note there that it wasn't my proudest journal page. Like, I think that also goes with like the artist way. I do have such high expectations for me to execute good art every single time that it makes me not want to create at all. So I'm glad that I'm putting that out there, something that I'm not like super in love with, but also it's not for me to judge, it's just for me to make. And I'm trying to give myself a little bit more of a voice instead of judging my work so harshly, letting it just exist, letting it be, and giving it the space to speak to me rather than trying to constantly have some like huge purpose or something like that. But it just didn't feel very cohesive to me, I guess, is the bottom line. Not necessarily that I didn't like it, but it didn't feel very cohesive. But ultimately, I'm just proud of myself for sitting down and getting in my sketchbook and making something. I think that's the most important thing that needs to be celebrated. But I wanted to check in and talk to you all a little bit because, as I said, I think it was my last video, that I am starting to do physical Patreon rewards. So I had everything digital. There is discount codes. Every single tier has an increasing discount on the shop and Patreon shop. And you can follow for free or you can partner monthly, depending on whatever tier best fits you. So yeah, I'm here to give a little Patreon plug. But long story short, there's so many different benefits that you can receive from partnering on Patreon or just following along for free, like I said. But I wanted to show you the new things that are coming. So there are exclusive monthly podcast episodes, exclusive content, like I said, access to the secret Patreon shop, which will have the physical rewards. So I wanted to go and show you all the new things that are coming. So this is the new sticker that's going to be out. I do have a tier that is the sticker only, or there is the tier that you can receive the art print or the postcard. It's just gonna be some form of art that I've created that month. So for the month of January, this is going to be the print that you're getting. It's not a postcard, it's just a normal print. So this is gonna be the print that everyone's gonna be receiving. And if you're on the tier for the sticker as well, there's either just the sticker tier, like I said, or the postcard tier, or there's one for both. But yeah, so these are the stickers and the postcards that you can receive. I felt like I wanted to challenge myself a little bit more this year with making more art, and I know one of my favorite things to receive is postcards and stickers and prints in the mail from artists that I personally partner with. It's my favorite time of the month. It just feels like I'm number one, supporting someone's dream, someone's creative dream, and then I'm also receiving exclusive benefits in return. So that's the thing about these prints and these stickers. They are exclusive, which means they're not going to be open to the general public. So those of you that do receive them every single month, they're going to be sent straight to you and you will see what you're receiving ahead of time. And then if you are on the lower tiers that don't offer this or a free member, you still have access to the secret Patreon shop. And the secret Patreon shop will have all of these extras in there for a super discounted price. They're not going to be the normal prices in my normal shop. You're going to get like a good discount price. But yeah, so I wanted to come on here and let you guys know the new things that are coming. I'm super excited to start sending out these types of things and to stretch myself a little bit more creatively this year. I spent some time today really focusing on some creative goals that I have for myself, not only this week and this month, but this year overall. And I'm also excited to see what's gonna come from this family on YouTube, because I've been really wanting to focus on my Patreon and my YouTube specifically, and I've already seen so much encouragement that I'm on the right path. Like, I even checked today. I'm not super big on numbers. I'm trying not to focus on numbers or anything like that, but I did notice like a full wrap up of my entire last year, and I've grown so much on YouTube. Like, even in the last month, I've gained 49 subscribers, and I think that's so cool. So if you're here watching this, thank you for being a part of this. If you haven't yet, like the video and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video this far. But yeah, I wanted to do a Patreon plug just in case anyone's interested in having more exclusive goodies and having a little bit more of this. But I think that's all I have for now. I need to go pick up some groceries and I'm gonna be meal prepping the rest of the night. So I'm gonna log off here. Stay tuned for what's next. XOXO. Good morning. Hello again. I'm popping in to update you on what I'm doing today so you know what to expect in the next couple of clips. First things first, morning pages are done, coffee is made.
We are ready to roll.
So I know I showed you all the patron rewards for this month of January. I need to pack those up, so I am going to be taking you all along with that so you can kind of see how I pack all of those things up and divide them for each tier. But if you are interested in getting any of those goodies or more exclusive goods or access to the secret Patreon shop, any of those things, I encourage you to check out my Patreon, see which tier best fits you, or just follow along for free. And I also wanted to give you guys a little update on what I'm heading towards in the new year. So something I really started doing the last year is block printing, which is basically carving out your own stamps, running over them with ink, and pressing them onto paper, or you can press them on the fabrics or anything like that. And I really enjoy making those. It's a little bit more different from digital art. It's a lot more handmade, authentic. The process is a lot more fun, and it's just a lot more hands-on, which I really enjoy. So I wanted to remind you guys that I have some prints already up in the shop that are block printed. I have a lot more prints than just this. There is still the sale going on where there are items from 50 to 90% off because I'm trying to clear out some of the old goodies and bring in some new items. So yeah, if you want to check out anything, head over to the shop. I also wanted to give you guys a little plug for my mental wellness shots. So something that I thought about last year is everyone's really big on these wellness shots or like immunity shots, you know, that have like the turmeric, the ginger, all these different types of things that help you in your immune system and help you to stay healthy. So I thought, what if I came up with mental wellness shots? So they're in these like little immunity shot glasses, and they have little affirmations and truths about whichever thing you want to become more focused on. So for example, the flavors that I have are mindfulness, healing, and overthinking. So the mindfulness one is to help assist you on a journey to becoming more mindful. The healing one is to help assist you in your healing journey. And the overthinking one is to help you stay focused on what is right in front of you and switch you from an overthinker to just a deep thinker. I think it's important to think deeply about things. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it's when you overthink or when you underthink that it kind of becomes a problem. But I know overthinking is a big thing I struggle with, so it was something that spoke to me and was easy for me to create. So those are the three flavors, if you will. And I wanted to pick out one affirmation / truth from each wellness shot so you can kind of get an idea of what's inside of them. Okay, so I'm picking one from the mindfulness one right now. And this one says, I do things out of the goodness of my heart, not for what I will receive in return. Now, this is the healing one. Sometimes it's not going to make sense. Processing comes from accepting and feeling what we cannot comprehend. And then one from the overthinking wellness shot. I give myself permission to rest in the unknown and know that I am safe and exactly where I'm supposed to be. Can we get some finger snaps for that one? But yeah, so yours, if you order them, they will have a lid on them and these papers will be all folded up so that you can't see what you're getting and it's kind of like a random pick. But yeah, you get this little jar and you can always reuse it. It comes with a black lid and you can use it for anything. Cotton balls when you're traveling, Q-tips when you're traveling, or you can make your own immunity shot, or you can just keep all the affirmations in here and continue to recycle through them. But yeah, they're one of my favorite things, and I thought it was super unique and super cool. So if you think they're super unique and super cool and you kind of want to become more mindful, or you need assistance on your healing journey, or you want help to stop overthinking and take more control over your mind, then I highly encourage grabbing one of these. But anywho, enough for the plug. I'm gonna go ahead and pack some Patreon rewards, and I want to do a couple of things in the artist way. I have a couple more assignments or tasks that I need to get done, so I'm gonna do those as well. And I still have not watered my plants, so I need to do that too. And I need to edit this video and have it up for patrons for early access. So we got a lot of things we gotta get done, so join me. Hello. Was it a good one? I hope it was. I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I'm putting things out into the world that I personally enjoy. I hope you learned a couple of things. Hope you took some things with you that I've been learning specifically to help unlock my creativity and find creative balance in a work life, and just connecting my creativity with spirituality and finding ways to stay true to myself in a world where we're constantly comparing or looking at other people's work. So yeah, I hope this benefited you in some way, and there are some takeaways that help you become a better artist or just a better human in general. And like always, if you want to get a little bit more involved, follow the socials below. Join our Patreon family. They now offer following for free, so you don't have to partner monthly or join one of the tiers to become a Patreon member. But it's just a way to be a little bit more exclusively included into this family. My main priority for 2024 is YouTube specifically and Patreon. The other socials, I said this in my other video, the other social medias are really focused on algorithm, and it really takes us away from like having a relationship with creators. And I personally follow a lot of creators. I personally partner with a lot of creators on Patreon. and it is so much different than just following them on social media. I hardly ever see their work, but on YouTube and Patreon, I really see their work. I see who I follow, and I love that so much. I love being in control of what I see and who I see and who I follow. So I'm gonna be really making sure that I'm prioritizing these two platforms this year so you can get the best out of being a part of this little community. But yeah, overall, I'm just sharing my journey to stepping into the role of really becoming an artist and believing in myself, taking my art seriously. Again, I hope me sharing helps you in any way possible. I hope you enjoyed. I don't have much else to say. I always have a really hard time wrapping up these videos, but regardless, you are such a beautiful human and don't you forget it. And I will see you all in the next one.